You're listening to the Spotless Podcast, where cleanliness is always next to podliness. Now, here are your hosts, Hannah Brooks Olson and Andrew Walsh.
I feel like I have lived 1,000 lifetimes since the last time you and I spoke, Hannah. Last time you and I spoke, we were talking about my upcoming trip to Hawaii and how to pack for vacations and other kinds of travel. I barely even remember that vacation anymore.
It does seem like a very long time ago. And also, yeah, you've traveled, you've had some big life changes.
That's right. We have adopted a puppy. Now, we're still, I guess I need to worry a little, or I guess I should. Okay, first of all, let me just stop myself right there and tell the listeners, I know that I am not necessarily known for being extra articulate on the best of days. I, because of this puppy, am truly sleep deprived. I am really worried about all of the noises that are going to be coming out of my mouth today. Apologies in advance for that. I am both hyped up on Red Bull and coffee, but also so brain dead that I think I'm just going to make mistakes faster than usual. So sorry about that.
You know, people will sometimes compare puppies to children, and it's not true a lot of the time. However, the puppy and baby exhaustion, I would say, is quite a similar experience.
Yes. Having
both cared for puppies and having had a very young child in my care. Mm-hmm. It is, you're constantly like waiting for every little sound. And then the difference,
you're always on alert and you're not sleeping.
The difference is that a puppy does not wear a diaper. It uses your home as its diaper in the early days.
It's a big diaper. But anyway, I was starting to say before I started fumbling and bumbling right out of the gate that I said we've adopted a puppy. It's still, I guess, technically we're still in kind of a 2-week trial period, but who's anybody fooling? You know, I was just talking with the agency that we're adopting through, and like everything is going really well. I don't think we need tons of setup on this story because you and I have talked for probably a year now about how serious Genevieve and I have been about getting a puppy. The one thing that we were waiting for was to get this trip to Hawaii off the books, you know, or get it behind us before we brought a dog into our life. And we had that vacation planned like 8 months ago or something like that. And so we did end up, I thought the process would go a little bit slower. I thought we'd be like bringing more like adult dogs into the house and seeing how they would, you know, interact with our cat Bingo, who we cherish to death. And the number one priority was to make sure that we didn't bring any animals into this house that would impact negatively his the lifestyle that he's grown accustomed to. You know, like
he's really the king of the castle.
He really is. And but a few days ago we did go, well, I guess a week or so ago, we visited a mama. There's something about I never use the word mama, but something about everybody calls the mom dog mama, and I just heard myself say it, and I didn't like it coming out of my mouth. I don't like that I'm on this mama train. We visited a mom dog.
See,
I
that's
don't
why
like
it
that
sounds
either.
Weird,
Yeah. And her name, coincidentally, was Lola, and I fell in love with her. She was 2.5 years old, but I guess had a little bit of a prey instinct and chasing squirrels and birds and stuff. Sweet, sweet dog, but maybe not a dog that you want to bring into a house that already has a cat living in it. So they said, well, you know, she's got a litter of 8 puppies. Why don't you come meet the puppies? And we did. And now one of those puppies, named Lucy, is here at home with us. We're about 4 days into this, no, 3 days into this maybe. We're a little bit exhausted. We're a lot in love. The cat and the dog are getting along really well. There are a lot of you'll hear rumors about cats and dogs
living together.
Living together. Mass hysteria. I guess we're in the middle of mass hysteria because these two are friends. I was telling you before the show that Lucy, the puppy, came and dropped a ball right in front of Bingo the cat because she wanted to play with him, and Bingo just stood there and kind of batted it around a little bit. It was very, very cute, and things are going very well for us.
I watched them at the beginning of this, before we started recording.
Oh, yeah,
Genevieve
we
came down,
introduced
brought
you.
Bingo down. Both of them seemed very relaxed in each other's presence, and I really genuinely believe that they both just think they've gotten a sibling, and I don't think that they think about them as different species. And I think that one of the great, like, I don't know, turns of evolution is that often if you introduce a young dog with a large cat, they are about the same size. Bingo's like maybe bigger than Lucy is at this point. And then as the dog gets bigger, the cat remembers being bigger and will continue to treat the dog as though the dog is smaller than they are, which I think creates a very healthy dynamic where, like, as Lucy gets bigger, Bingo's going to be like, I remember when you were little. Like, don't. So I think they're going to have a lovely relationship. I'm very happy about this.
You know what the interesting thing is, and I want to turn this conversation back into cleaning-related talk here.
Well,
but
hard not to with a puppy in your life, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say one other non-cleaning-related thing to this particular storyline. You said that Bingo might be bigger than... And by the way, I'm going to call Lucy a million wrong names. I keep calling her Lola because her mom's name was Lola. Your dog's name is Lola, and I say Lola a lot. We have a dear friend whose dog's name is Poppy, and I spend a lot of time with Poppy. I have called Lucy Poppy more than I've called her Lucy the past couple of days, so my apologies. And again, given my especially weak brain coming into this show, you're probably going to hear me call her all kinds of things. But actually, I don't think Bingo is technically bigger than Lucy right now, but we've kind of lucked into a whole bunch of different scenarios. I was telling you before the show, we're very lucky that the first 3 days that we had Lucy here, we had really nice weather, so it's helped in the potty training stuff, or the puppy training, whatever you call it, house breaking. I don't like the term breaking. I'm not
I don't either. I will often say like house training,
But Bingo is weird, and I thought this might be common amongst certain cats. Our vet is mesmerized by this phenomenon as well. But Bingo is a cat who, when the spring and summer months come, he starts to grow a long coat and a long mane. And then when winter comes, he sheds it, and it really impacts how he looks.
Sure.
And so during the winter months, he has much more of a, even though he's the same damn cat, and I don't think his personality is changing at all based on how he looks, he comes off during the winter months when he doesn't have his longer hair and his big mane as a more like spunky little kitten who's running around. But we're catching him right now during his regal, worldly phase where he just kind of looks like, and he looks bigger. And you know what? I think the timing of this really works out well, again, as far as like sort of the dynamic between these two animals, because he's just puffy. He looks bigger. He looks like he's more her size. So that's going really well. But given that this is a cleaning podcast, let me turn this conversation into a cleaning related one. Obviously, in the coming months, I'm sure, and years maybe, we'll have plenty of dog-related messes to talk about, and there have been some of those. But the first thing that really struck me and that I want to talk about today is how just bringing this animal into our house hasn't necessarily created messes. It has, but that's not the interesting thing. It underscores and helps you discover the messes that you didn't realize you had. So we've been trying to keep Lucy in a very kind of just one room at first, right? And we close the door, and it's kind of an extra bedroom we have, but it's set up like a little living area with a couch, and it's Genevieve's sewing room and a TV and everything, right? Yeah, but it's about the size of a bedroom. Sure. And so the first day or two, we kept the door closed. After that, we opened the door but put a baby gate there so she could stay in, but Bingo could sort of come and go or whatever, and we've been doing all this. But this is Genevieve's like little kind of raccoon room. I've talked about this on the show before. It gets very, very messy, and I've basically just said, listen, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to pretend that is somebody else's house, and she can live in that mess. And I'm not really comfortable in that, so I don't really spend much time in that room usually. And that's where Genevieve watches TV and does her projects and stuff. But Genevieve cleaned it all out, got rid of all the stuff before we brought the puppy home because we knew that was going to be her space, and did a good job of getting a lot of the stuff off of the ground and that she, would potentially chew on. But I'm in there the first night, and maybe the next morning, I had puppy duty that first night. And the next morning, it's just me and Lucy, and she's running around, whatever, and she keeps going under the couch. And I look down at our carpet in that room, which is just like a rug. It's like an area rug. And it's just, the rug is filthy. And I'm like, but I vacuumed this yesterday before we brought her home. And this isn't all just from the, us treading things in and out as we're taking her out to go potty or whatever. I'm saying potty now. I don't know if I like who I've become. But I realize what it is
if it's any consolation, one of Lola's like commands to do what she needs to do outside is I'll tell her just like go do a shit. So
that's what I probably should have gone with.
You can honestly, this is the thing with dogs. You can talk to them however you want. You can have.
Do you want to do a paint job? Do you want to do a paint job?
Who's gonna do a total paint job in the Red Robin?
But I realized that this mess was because I almost said Poppy, and then I went to Lola, and I'm going to say Lucy.
Listen,
was going under.
That Lucy, the name doesn't stick. You might find that she is somebody else. You never know.
We have no. She's Lucy. But anyway, she went under the couch and she's just like finding things that we didn't know were under there. We thought we got everything out of there, but of course she's finding pen caps and shit. And so I'm getting rid of that. But she's also dragging dust bunnies. And like again, like I consider myself a clean person, even though I'm not really usually responsible for this room anymore. And by the way, when I say I don't clean that room, that's not true.
Right.
What happens is I tell myself, I don't care. That's not my mess. I can close the door when I don't look at it. But eventually I get some breaking point, and I just go in there when Genevieve's gone, and I rip the whole thing apart and clean it. But I hadn't done that in a long time. And so there are like dust bunnies under the couch that she is just dragging out. And I'm like, I brought you into this house so you can show me what a pigsty it is. I don't know if I like this dynamic, Lucy.
It really does. A dog will really reveal a lot of things about you. They will reveal your messes. They will reveal your lazinesses. They will also help you see the things that you perhaps are more rigid about than you'd like to be. Yeah, it's
that's a big one for me. I'm trying to our lives feel very chaotic right now. This is also happening during a time where, as you know, the basement is all torn apart. We don't have our kitchenette down here, and I just looked it up. I was like, how long has this project been going on? Because we still have a lot to do, and it started in mid-January, and now it's kind of like mid-April, and it's probably at least another month of work. And so it's like, and so we don't have the storage space we used to have. All kinds of shit is just pulled out and just kind of like laying around our basement, which is like our living area. And I've kind of just gotten used to that amount of chaos. And now we have a dog in here, and there's all kinds of dog stuff in that room, and we're tracking stuff in and out. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to. This is the opposite of all of my cleaning related tendencies come from needing control, and that's how I feel, both in control, and then I can feel calmed down when there aren't dishes in the sink anymore and things are in place and in order. But I'm trying to say, like, I can keep up with some things, but I'm also just going to need to accept the fact that this is a dog house right now, or a house with a dog, especially a puppy, and things will calm down in time. But right now, I'm trying not to go against the grain to a point where I just drive myself mad. Yeah,
I think there are things that you're going to have to just like let exist. It also occurred to me though that you're going to have people coming, you're going to have your workers coming into the house. Yeah. Right? And
so they're luckily they're staying in the basement and she's upstairs.
Right.
So
but you're still going to have like guys like around, which I think it's a good thing to help your dog get used to people coming and going. And I hadn't considered that. I hadn't thought about how you guys are still like actively in a work zone. And there's gonna be like sounds and stuff, but I feel like that's good for her to have access to. And I'm sure based on what you've told me about your contractor guy, he's gonna be psyched that there's now a puppy on site.
He's already they've met a couple of times now, and she's getting more and more comfortable with him. And he's got like a 20-year-old son who came over the other day to help him out with something, and we said, we just got a puppy, and he said, I'll be back later, Dad, and like booked it upstairs to go meet Lucy. That's and he's enamored. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. So she's meeting people, and I was telling you before the show, we still have to get all of her vaccines in order before she can meet other dogs. But we're really going to try to like just keep her meeting new people and get her out of the house and just hopefully be a well balanced dog, unlike her dad, aka me.
I mean, and you had said before too that you were trying really hard not to let your anxieties like rub off, and it is like they can tell. There have been times where like I'm very anxious, and I've had to be like, do it for Lola, do it for Lola.
Yes.
And I just have to be like, we're both being brave now. Like we're both.
I think about this when I'm very much trying to be conscientious about what energy I am putting off around her, because
it's like your like pheromones, your stress, or fear, sort of the way that it sends like smells and there's a lot to it. So you do have to really think about like, okay, I'm here for this little pup. She's so stinking cute though.
Oh, I love her to death. And again, something incredibly unusually drastic would have to happen in the next 7 days or so for this not to be a permanent match for us, and we're making all the plans for that. So she is our girl and we love her to death. I mean, honestly, it's been 3 days and it's kind of like, well, I can't imagine life without you, and like that sounds corny, but I'm not even saying that as a joke. So.
No, it's real. They do that on purpose. They make them that way.
I am going to do my best not to make my whole personality new dog guy. So we have other things to talk about today, too. But also a lot of them, I'm going to say, from my own experiences the past few weeks. I've missed talking to you, and I need to download a bunch of stuff, Hannah. But I want to get the listeners in on this, too. If you would like to call and talk about, hey, if you have any kind of dog mess suggestions for me or experiences, tell us about the biggest dog disaster you've ever had to deal with from a cleaning perspective. Give us a call. 508-HOW-WASH is the phone number. That's 508-469-9274. You can also record a voice memo and email it to us, spotlesspod@gmail.com, or on Instagram and YouTube. You might be watching this on YouTube. We put our entire shows up there if you want to see what we look like. I'm not happy with the way this hat, which I wear all the time, I'm looking at myself, it kind of is floppy. It's like it's a green Castro style hat, but it's like kind of, you notice how it's like floppy? It's lost all of its structure. What's going on?
Did you wash it?
I don't think so. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to see my stupid hat, you can check us out on YouTube. Just look for Spotless Pod.
I will also put a picture of Lucy into the YouTube.
Oh,
if you're watching
great.
it, you will have
Thank
already
you.
seen it. And I will put a picture of her on Instagram, too, because Andrew's
Thank
not on
you.
Instagram.
Yes.
We're going to want to let people in on this. You
She's
do
a
want to see her.
cutie.
She's very cute.
She's very cute.
Also,
Unfortunately, I don't have any photos of her.
Yeah, by the way, welcome to your camera roll on your phone. Just only being that.
Well, you know what I don't like is my how many text threads I have going on right now that are about an animal's poop. Like Genevieve, like when she went outside for the first time, she's texting like all of our friends on different text chains, like, "Oh, her poop is healthy." I'm just like, "Why am I? This can't be my life."
One time, many years ago, I remember seeing on like a dog forum or Reddit or something, someone described their dog's turds as museum quality, meaning like that's like the perfect, like that's what you're going for.
Oh my
God. And that terminology has stuck with me for forever, so you're welcome for having that. But like when you know your dog's guts are like well behaved and like everything is going right, and it's like, oh, it's a museum quality, and I still think about that. But I think
really
too
funny.
On the cleaning front, well, one, y'all have mostly hardwoods except for in your downstairs where she's not hanging around, so that's good. And then I also know that the rugs you have, most of your area rugs are flat. They're like fairly like low pile.
Yeah.
Which I would definitely.
Yeah, not shag like you had.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're ever thinking about bringing a puppy into your life, don't do it with a shag carpet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your bit there, but I was thinking about your shag carpeting.
What I was going to say too is that just have a lot of Folex. Have a lot of Folex on the ready.
Well, you know what I have, and I'm looking for the name of it now, but I have that Bubba Gumps.
Oh my gosh,
it's not
yes,
Bubba Gumps,
but
like,
it is basically Buddy's Rowdy whatevers. Yeah, we talked about that at one point.
Bubba and his rowdy friends, whatever, but it's an enzyme cleaner because somebody did say when Lucy is having some little accidents, some of them are going on this area rug that is in there. And we're ready also. It was an area rug that was actually in storage for a long time. I pulled it out of the garage somewhat recently. It's an okay shape, but we're also okay if we have to say goodbye to it after 8 or 9 months. But, some people were giving me the advice of, get out your Folex. But really, it's not Folex. It's a dark rug. Folex is for stains.
Yeah.
It gets stains out, but really it's the enzyme cleaner that's really important because we don't want that whole room, first of all, smelling like a dog room, and we don't want her to get used to that smell.
The enzyme cleaner, either something like Bubba's or I will always rep Nature's Miracle is the other big brand.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
and
right,
you can buy
exactly.
the big concentrate. I've had the same jug of Nature's Miracle for a decade. It's probably, I imagine it's less effective than it was, but it seems to still do the trick. And you just like dilute it and go, and you can have it forever. So Yes,
You know, that reminds me, and I think this does tie in a little bit. I had one other bullet point. The past few weeks, especially the past few days, knowing I was going to dial up with you, I've been thinking about things I want to talk to you about. And I just remembered another one that I didn't even put on the list, Hannah. And it has to do with something I did yesterday, which is, even though everything is chaotic right now, and this might not be a coincidence, by the way, I am finding time to really clean things, totally unrelated to Lucy. Mm-hmm. And I do think that this is me feeling chaos in parts of my life and then getting on top of other things. Like, I finally cleaned my shower the other day. And you think, like, why do you didn't have a dog for the past, several months when you should have been cleaning the shower, and you're cleaning it now. But I think
that makes perfect sense to me.
I'm putting in more on that in a moment, but it just it reminded me that yesterday I did something that feels so good for my soul. So good for my soul. I've been talking to you about it for months now. I finally cleaned the car. The inside, not the outside, but the inside of our car was so bad over the winter, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And regular listeners know it had been affecting my mindset every time I had to get into our car. But we don't have a garage. We don't have a good place in a Seattle winter to really do the detail, to plug in a shop vac and be outside in the driveway. It's always wet and raining. You can't do it. And yesterday was another nice day. And so while Genevieve was outside with, I almost said Lola, with Lucy, and a friend came over and was meeting Lucy, I parked the car in the driveway and said, I'm just going to vacuum. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm at least going to vacuum. And of course, I knew I was lying to myself.
I was going to say the greatest lie you've ever told yourself. I'm just going to do this little thing.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll do the windows are terrible. Okay, I'll go in and I'll get a roll of paper towels and the Windex or whatever, the glass cleaner. I'll just do the windows. And I'm looking at the seats, and you reminded me of this with the Folex. I'm like, okay, well, I got to get these seats. So I go get my Folex, and I'm getting all the water stains out of the seat that had accumulated over the winter somehow. And I had this thought. So it took me, I don't know, a couple of hours, and it's spick and span inside there now, and I love it. And I took a very quick trip to the grocery store yesterday, the one right around the corner from me. I should usually I'd walk, but I was in a hurry. And I drove the car there. And as I'm checking out, I'm making small talk with the woman cashier. The woman cashier.
Right, sure.
I couldn't think of the word. Woman. Anyway, and she's saying how nice the weather is. I'm like, yeah, I just cleaned the inside of my car or whatever. So obviously I know that I had just cleaned the inside of my car. I had just finished it 10 minutes earlier. I was very excited about it, and then I was talking to her about it. However, there's something about my goldfish brain, and I think people can maybe relate to this. In the 2 seconds between telling her I just cleaned the inside of my car to me opening the car door to put my groceries inside, I'd forgotten about the reality of that again. And I realized that is the best part about finally cleaning the inside of your car, and probably other things too, is that moment where you're like, I'm just opening this car door that I open 100 times, and I have this low-level sense of awfulness, and you open it up and you're like, hot damn,
yes,
it's so clean in here. It's like, it intellectually, but you're never quite, and I know I will have that feeling probably for the next maybe 2 or 3 days before it just becomes the norm again. And that's why you play the goddamn game.
It's setting yourself up. It is an investment in your future well-being, because
it really is.
Because you're doing it now, it feels good now, but it's going to feel so much better later. Last week, I guess, I just was similarly just feeling not in control of a lot of things, and I need to do something to make myself feel better. And I made a video about it. I put it on Instagram. I made a video about me emptying out the water trap on my washer, the filter. I don't even really on your washing machine. There's extra water that gets stuck somewhere, or it gets filtered out, and there is a filter thing on it, and you're supposed to clean it sometimes. I don't know how often, but I find myself doing it kind of a lot, because it's a very easy thing to do if you have 10 minutes, but it feels great. And
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
This is a top-loading washer or front-loading?
Front-loading washer.
Okay, and where is this thing?
It's on the front. So on the front of the washing machine, if you are looking at the washing machine, it's down in the left-hand corner. There's a little plastic door. And if you open the little plastic door.
Okay, yeah, I do think I know about this.
Hold on, let me see what it's actually called.
because I think this might have come up on the show before, or at least
yes.
I think I can picture it, not the inside of it, because I don't think I've removed it, but I think I can picture that little door on the outside of my front loader.
So washing machine filters often found behind a small hatch at the bottom front of front load machines trap lint, hair, and debris to prevent pump damage. Cleaning it every few months prevents odor and drainage issues. So it really does help if you have sour laundry, if you have a washing machine that like has a smell to it. A lot of times you will get hair and soap scum and other stuff in this thing. So you open the little door, and now here's the trick. And again, I made a video. It's on Instagram. You can go find it. It's also on TikTok. There's a hose, and then there's the filter itself. And what you need to do not go straight for the little screw off filter guy, okay? Because that's what you're going to want to do. Don't do that. That has water in it. There's a hose, teeny little hose, like, the size of my finger. You take that out. It has a little cap on it. You take the cap out. You drain the water out into another container. And then once the water's all out, then you take the filter out. And the filter will be some amount of scuzzy. You wipe it, clean it, and then you put it back. And then that's the whole of it. That's all you have to do.
I gotta do that.
Oh god, it's really satisfying, and it is.
I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna disappear from your screen for a moment, but I'm keeping my headphones on. You continue. I just need to. We got a lot of animals.
Yeah, what's going on with Bingo?
Of them, Bingo is trying to get out of my studio. I forgot that he's trapped in here, but I can still hear you, and I am listening. Okay, I'm just wanted to let you know why I'm going to disappear for a second.
Well, I will continue. But yes, I did. So I did a cleaning task the other day that had nothing to do with anything. I had no reason to do it. My washing machine didn't smell weird. But I just knew I needed like a little cleaning hit, and I feel like doing the shower or doing your cars like that, where you're like, this doesn't really achieve anything, and then the next time I went to do laundry, I was like, ooh, but I know the filter's clean.
I'm very intrigued. I need to go do that, because we bought our washer probably about a year or more ago. Maybe it's been a couple of years. I'll ask Vives, but I'll. Did you say you didn't make a video of that? Did you?
I made a video.
You made a video of that
too.
Okay, I gotta find a way to get on Instagram and
it's
check
on
that
TikTok
out.
if you look there too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I put them both.
Speaking of kind of cleaning the shower and these kind of satisfying things, I had mentioned to you that I had let my shower go a little bit too long. I think I probably say this every time I bring up shower cleaning now, but just another little hat tip to that thing that actually a hat tip to your mom for making me aware of this technology, quote unquote technology. But remember, I bought that basically it's a pole with a sponge or a scrub around the end of it, and I think your mom said that they use that in like maybe the hotel industry or whatever when they're going around cleaning, or they potentially do. And I can't remember if I think I was intrigued by that idea before I had that bout of rheumatoid arthritis, but then that really kicked in, like, I was having a lot of trouble kind of like, crouching and moving around, so I bought one of those things, and it's really changed how I think about washing the shower. It's still a difficult thing to wash. I have a shower tub situation, you know, and, it gets gross on the bottom of it. We know about all this.
Oh my God, I hate it so much.
But there's something that, back in the day, I'd always just, get down literally on my hands and knees and just like I'd use soft scrub and a sponge and just scrub it. And it's, satisfying when it gets clean. But just being able to stand and put a bunch of soft scrub on that thing and kind of scrub it around or whatever, like a hearty mopping or something like that, is just like, I feel like it doesn't have to be a day-long project where I do the entire bathroom at once. I can just kind of hit the shower. And one thing that I've been doing is, and this is what I want to get into because Genevieve thought this was really weird. It was after, I know it was the first night that Lucy was home, or it was like the first day after Lucy had spent the night, and I had been like, I was just like I am now, like sleep deprived, out of my mind. I felt like that. Remember when you're in college or high school or something, you have to stay up literally all night to do a project, and you're not just like tired the next day, you feel like you're on some sort of a drug.
Ooh, yes. Having work nights, yes. And I always had a very physical sensation to that too, where I felt like cold all the time. I remember feeling very my skin felt weird. But yes, I know what
I
you're
feel
talking about.
tingly sort of. I don't know if I felt cold, but I definitely feel like kind of almost like a tingly sensation sort of. But anyway, so for whatever it's worth, I'm sort of in that mindset, and I'm also feeling really grubby. Like I love Lucy. But, she's been kind of, playing with me and licking me and like my hands and arms just feel like a day and night's worth of just like dog saliva. She also likes to totally, especially as I'm balding more and more, she likes to just lick my entire head in the morning to wake me up, which is really, really sweet. But then I just have like dog saliva in my, all over my head. But anyway, so I'm in this mode this one day, and I'm like, Genevieve, okay, can you just like kind of take over puppy duty, because we had to kind of keep an eye on her constantly. Yep. And I said, I'm gonna go take a shower. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go take a shower and clean the shower. And Genevieve looked at me and she's like, what? It's like, so, you clean the shower while you're taking a shower? She's like, somebody else was just telling me about that. I thought they were crazy. And I'm like, well, it's not something I traditionally have done. I do it every now and then. And now I don't do that scrubbing of the tub itself while I'm taking a shower. I do stand outside of the tub and use that pole with the scrubber on it and the soft scrub, and I make sure that the tub itself is all clean. But then what I do is I remove everything out of the shower, the little thing of bubble bath that I have for the bath that I take once every decade. I take the shampoo bottles out of there and the other, literally the rubber ducky that sits on a little shelf. I take it all out. I set it on the sink. Yes, exactly. I get everything else out of the shower, and then I just go in there with a sponge and a little bit of soft scrub that sits outside the shower, and then I'm just taking a shower. And then it's like, it's all wet in here anyway, and I can clean the little shelves, I can clean the walls, and then I have a removable shower head, right? So I can just use it as a hose. And so I did that one day, and my shower was clean. And also, I just like being in the shower anyway, so it sort of feels productive. Yeah. But Genevieve thought that was really weird. And what she doesn't know is it got weirder the next day, because I was going to take a shower. My shower's clean now. But I always, my bathroom's in the basement, so I have a dehumidifier right outside of my bathroom. And we've talked about this before. The dehumidifier has this basin that collects all of the humidity and turns it just into water. You have to empty it about once a day or once every 2 days. Well, that basin starts to get grosser and grosser over time because it's holding water. So, we get that kind of pink slime, which turns into this kind of brown slime or whatever. And I think it might be exacerbated by the fact that we have a lot of construction going on. So it's pulling in particles from the air. And this basin, which is about, I don't know, maybe it's like 2 feet across, maybe like 6 inches deep or whatever. It's got a little handle on it. You can kind of carry it when it's full of water, and you go dump it in the tub or whatever. But it was really gross in there. It was so gross. It really built up. And it doesn't really affect anything because it's collecting the water. It's not like filtering it and putting it back out into the world or the atmosphere, but it's just gross. Yeah. And I'm like, ugh. So I take it and I empty it, and then I spray it full of the bleach cleaner stuff, like whatever that is, Clorox. And I'm letting it soak for a little bit. I'm like, I'll let it soak while I'm in the shower. And then I jump in the shower. Then I'm like, you know what? Let me just grab that and finish cleaning it in here in the shower. So I pull it in, I dump it out, and the water is all gross where the bleach has kind of cleaned everything. But now I'm taking my shower wand, I'm putting it on the full blast mode that I don't usually use on myself, and I'm like kind of hosing it out in there, getting the gunk out, and then it's dripping wet, and I just reach out and I just put it in the sink right next door, and then I finish taking my own shower. I am now very shower curious. What other things, non-shower related, can I take into the shower with me to clean them? Do we have any ideas? And do you ever do shit like this?
Yes. So I absolutely do. So, okay, first of all, I hate cleaning the shower. This is like a known fact. It's one of my all-time least favorite things to do. Something about the physical activity of cleaning the shower is the thing I hate the most. And I don't have hard water. I don't really have any big issues that I need to be staying on top of. It is just like the cleanliness of the plasticky wall, whatever it is. And it's like the cheapest, most awful. It's functionally a hotel shower. But I do often. So one thing I will do also, just because our upstairs bathroom is quite small, when I am like mopping the floor, I will often put the mop bucket in the bathtub I'll dump the mop juice out down the tub, and then I'll use the shower head to hose it out, and then I will leave the bucket in the tub to like dry before I put it in the closet, because I don't want to put it in the closet wet. And if it just hangs out in the shower, and I'm not taking a shower, that's fine. However, I have also just like dumped it, given it sort of a rinse, and then as I'm going to take a shower, remembered it's there and been like, oh shit, I still have to deal with that. So then I will like clean it out en route into
in the
shower.
Yeah.
I have also done it with especially when I've lightened my hair. So there are times where I'm just like trying to, mostly because I have a lot of gray hair coming through, which I don't mind, but I would like it to all be sort of one shade. So I will lighten it with a little bit of like lightening powder, like bleach basically, and you mix it in a dish. The little plastic dish that I use for my hair color, I put that in the shower and like I'll again hose it out, and then when I get in the shower later to wash my hair out, I will also wash that out because I'm also concerned about like the bleach. And like almost anything I clean with bleach probably is going to happen in the shower and may involve also me in the shower because I don't want to bleach my clothes.
Yeah, that's smart.
I had a friend though, I don't do this, but I had a friend who did this. She used to wear her more delicate lacy brasiers in the shower and wash them while she was in the shower because like you're supposed to hand wash them, and that was how she used to like hand wash those. She would just like wear it in and then like wash it while she was in there, and then give it a rinse and then toss it over the shower bar. So I did have a friend who used to do that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So is she wearing it? So I could totally see taking it into the shower. You're like, well, I got to wash this by hand anyway. Instead of filling my sink with Woolite and doing it there, I'll just take the Woolite in the shower with me and do it by hand. But if I understand it correctly, she's wearing it and then sort of showering. Is that to keep the shape?
I think that maybe is part of it. I actually think the first time it happened accidentally. It is not that hard to get in the shower and forget. Much like, you can forget that your like Apple Watch is on when you get in the shower and then you're like, oh shit, it's soaked, right? Or you like wear your glasses into the shower and you realize you didn't really want to do that and they're like fogged up. So I think maybe the first time and then it was like, oh, well, I'm in here already. But I think it mostly was just that like that's when she would clean her bras was when she was already wearing it. And then like that was just the way, which is not a terrible idea. But I mean,
Maybe it's just a sexy, fun time. Too.
Maybe it's just a personal preference. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do think there is something about how weird we are about cleaning other things when we're in the shower to clean ourselves. When, like, how silly is that? You're already in. Like, it's not like I'm dumping the mop bucket on my head and then stepping out of the shower. Like, like you're getting.
You know what? I'm bringing the dinner dishes down.
Now that's literally a Seinfeld bit. You remember when Kramer.
No.
Oh, there's a whole thing about Kramer like doing the dishes in the shower. Yeah, there's a whole thing about this.
Well, geez, I watch a lot of Seinfeld. I don't remember this, but maybe it did, maybe bury itself in my brain somewhere because I now am realizing that this whole conversation is sort of based on that premise. Then I didn't kind of realize that we're just regurgitating a Seinfeld premise, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm kidding about the
place. His
dishes,
was and then he gets a garbage disposal put in the shower.
I don't remember this
that happens.
all.
But I think so I understand why dishes, I think just because of the food of it all, and again, the trap.
Of course.
But
and then what do you do with them?
And then where do you put them? Right. Because that is the other thing, is it's something that you, but cleaning the shower itself while you're in the shower is not a bad idea. I think the only reason you wouldn't want to do it is if your shower cleaning chemicals would be harsh on your skin.
Yeah.
But mine aren't.
I'm not spraying it on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I'm doing it with my clothes on, I'm not my clothes aren't soaking wet with bleach afterwards.
Right, yes.
I turn the nozzle away from me.
I do also, to bring it back to the top of the show, I will wash the dog whenever I need to give Lola a bath. I do it right before I myself am going to shower. I will often do it. I'll go for a run. I'll come back home, wash the dog, and then shower, all in one sort of fell swoop, because the shower has to happen that way too. I don't need to wash the shower out after I've bathed her, because because if you give your dog a bath and then you don't immediately clean the tub, when you come back to take a shower, you will be sad because of how grotesque the tub will be after your dog has gotten out of the bath. But when you're chasing your wet dog around after the bath, you don't necessarily always want to then go back in there and wash the shower. So if I give her a bath, then kind of get her settled, then I go take a shower. I can hose down the shower walls while I'm in there, and sort of get everything done. And then I'm clean, the shower's clean, the dog's clean. Things feel good.
And you're wearing, and like I feel like probably wearing workout clothes to wash the dog is the perfect thing
I'm already
too. So
sweaty.
you're already dressed in that thing. You're already sweaty. You're already wet. Kind of gross. Like, let me wash this dog, and then we'll throw. I do like the idea. I mean, the idea of wearing a bra while you're cleaning in the shower is still curious to me. But actually, though, I don't think I have a lot of things that I hand wash. Well, honestly,
I don't hand wash anything.
The only things I hand wash, and it's totally ridiculous, is like I have a handful of these microfiber cloths that I clean my glasses and stuff with. And so sometimes I'll fill up the sink and let them soak in some Blue Light and clean them. Like, I could see myself taking these into the shower, but even if you had anything, like any kind of clothes that you hand wash, I could totally see an argument for that. Especially you could even then just drape it over the shower rod if you have a shower rod
and that's
until you get out of the shower, and then you take it out and then you can hang it properly after that or something. I'm actually very into the idea of clothes. I think that's a legit suggestion.
I feel like also, if you have clothes you have to hand wash and you don't have a shower bar to drape them over, and you have one of those like hard shower, either like a
door.
glass, I know, like the glass part that isn't the door, the part that doesn't open, you could put a tension rod in there.
Yep.
You could line dry some clothes in there. I mean, for a long time, when I was a teenager, I had a clothesline in my bedroom. Mostly because I didn't like to put my clothes in drawers. Like, I just nothing was. I hated putting clothes in drawers, and they would just get all wrinkly. And like, I was not going to fold stuff, and I was mostly wearing like t-shirts and shit. So I put a clothesline in my bedroom, and then I would pin my clothes up like so that they could hang nicely and not be wrinkled. Because the other option was like
drips? That's my only question. What about drippings?
So drips is the issue, I think, certainly obviously if you're not in the bathroom, but that's why I'm thinking a tension rod in the shower.
In the bathroom? I meant in your bedroom, though.
Oh, so it was never wet clothes. It was like dry, like clean clothes.
Okay.
I would just pin my clean clothes up instead of like, because I had a really small closet and I couldn't really see my stuff when it was in there because the closet was like small and dark, and it just was like, and it was like also full of I think other people used my closet for storage, but also borderline hoarder house growing up. So that was that also. And so instead of just like leaving my clothes on the floor where they'd get dog hair all over them or whatever, I would just like hang them or drape them on this clothesline, and then they wouldn't get wrinkled and they weren't on the floor. But I feel like we don't get creative enough about where we hang clothes in our houses generally, because a tension rod in the bathroom would be great. We also have a rod in our laundry room. So we have a laundry room downstairs in our house, and it has a bar. And that's where Keith dries all of his line dry stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He hangs a lot of stuff.
He hangs everything.
Sweatpants, everything.
Yes. And they're not soaking. They're always like tumble dried at least. Or like, the dryer or the washer has like dried them enough.
Spin.
So they're not like soaking. Yeah, the spin dry. But those, he just hangs everything to dry downstairs and it like in this bar. And so I feel like putting a tension rod somewhere where it's like obviously not in your way or where you're not trying to, like if you had a tension bar in your bathroom, that's a really good idea.
I'm really interested. Let's get the listeners in on this as well.
I would like to
Scrub
hear this
jockeys. Can you think of, or do you already take other things into the shower with you to clean them in the shower? I wonder if we're missing out on some things here. I also wonder how freaky deaky our listeners get when it comes to this stuff. Like, what are you taking in? Are you taking in your like stemless wine glasses? What do you wash?
Do you have
in the
like
shower?
a dish rack in your bathroom? That's again, where do you put everything? Like my shower has a real storage issue, so anything I take in with me has to come out, or it just has to sit in the tub, right? Related vaguely, but I made a video about this also on TikTok and on Instagram, and I just wanted to like put it into the world because I think we talked about it when you were packing to leave, that I was talking about using a hair flat iron to iron your clothes.
Sorry for the noise over here. That was me opening up TikTok so that I can follow our own show, because it just occurred to me, I'm not even 100% sure. I'm on TikTok so little that I don't think I ever followed our own show on TikTok. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what you just heard.
It's okay. And we have there's two Spotless accounts because one's a backup because I just wanted to claim the name, but I don't use it. So when you look up Spotless Pod, do go ahead and follow both just in case. But there's one that actually has content posted on it. And so I like made a video because one of those like NBC, I don't know, like Consumer Report type whatever's was like, oh, I'm testing out all these different travel irons or like travel ways to like press your clothes and make it so your clothes don't get wrinkled. And I was like, no, this already exists. You do not have to, like, this is not a thing we need to reinvent. We literally already have an electric 2 metal panel thing that can iron things. Yeah. It is a flat iron. And you can buy a travel flat iron that's, you know, the size of my palm with 2 irons on it that you can throw in for $15 American. And it is, you can absolutely like press your collar, press out a wrinkle, like just do that.
I was about to say, wait, we didn't talk about this on the show already?
And then
I thought, oh, wait. But you know what? No, I do follow us on TikTok because that's where I heard that recently. Okay, talking about it on TikTok. So, okay.
So you must follow us.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. So anyway, sorry about that again.
About on the show too, but
maybe
I do think it is like kind of one of those things where I think it's we're getting too in our heads about a lot of these types of things. But what reminded me of it was you saying, like, are there things that, like, we could be cleaning while we're in the shower to make our lives easier? Like, things that you go out of your way to clean that you could just clean while you're in the shower. Like, I'm very into working smarter. This is a big... Yeah. I'm very into this idea.
For obvious reasons, I don't think it should be anything, as we've already stated, anything that is like, you know, food related in the slightest. But I am thinking that. So the one last thing I'll say about this too, is I was sort of thinking about this as a topic, is like the background also is that I'm just a born putterer anyway, and I find myself. And I'd be really interested to know if other people do this or if you have this inclination. I kind of find myself puttering in the shower anyway, even if I'm not bringing in something to clean, which is very rare. This is a new fetish of mine. And I'm not talking about just necessarily like, you know, purposefully cleaning the shower itself. But if I'm being honest, I can't tell you how many times I've been like listening to some Mariners podcast on my phone that's balanced up on the shelf and my mind is sort of wandering. And, you know, I set my I use a bar of soap, and so it just sort of sets on one of these little shelves in my shower that has little ridges, but I don't have like soap dish or anything like that. So I'll spend probably a big chunk of a random shower just being like, ugh, and just like kind of maybe shooting the water over to that little shelf and just like using my hand to scrub off the soap buildup there. And then if I'm doing that, sometimes I'll be like, oh, and I really do have like a little rubber ducky and like some shampoo bottles. Sometimes I'll just kind of pick them up and kind of like clean the bottom of them, because if they sit too long, they start to get a little bit slimy or whatever. And have you ever done this? I have a little bottle of like exfoliating face scrub in the shower. I used to have some stuff that I loved, and they stopped making it or something. Genevieve, I'd get it through Genevieve. So Genevieve bought me some replacement stuff. I don't like it as much, but that's neither here nor there. But I always have it in there, but sometimes it gets gunked up in the nozzle. Do you ever find yourself mindlessly unscrewing like the caps of shampoo or your face rubs or whatever it is, and then just like holding them up to the water, the caps themselves just like clear out? Because sometimes you go to squeeze it and it's got buildup in the cap and you end up getting like a little like booger.
I've done it also when I'm at the like bottom of a conditioner and I'm like, I gotta get all this conditioner out. I hold it up to get a little bit of water into the end of the last like you know, half inch of product and like loosen it up a little, and then I use that like watered down just to get it like I'll straight up clean
like
out
Chris Rock with his tussin.
Yes, I will clean out the bottles in the shower whilst using the end of it, which is both how lazy and how cheap I am that I cannot let that last little bit go.
I'm just remembering now, another thing I do is I brush my teeth in the shower quite a bit.
Oh,
and again, I guess what I'm admitting here is I'm probably wasting too much water. I do like longish showers based on most people's needs and wants, I think. But like, I'll brush my teeth in the shower. But if I look at I have one of those like flip open toothpaste containers right now, if you can imagine it. So it gets a little gunky. I know I've been in the shower like kind of holding that up to the water to get all the toothpaste off of that. Yep. Like I'm mindlessly cleaning in the shower anyway.
You're already cleaning. Why not? I used to brush my teeth in the shower a lot when I was living alone, especially, and it was just like if I was more likely to be like morning showering, which like I'm not a morning shower person now because I usually am going to work out later in the day. It's just like those things don't overlap as much as they used to, but I used to absolutely brush my teeth in the shower, and someone told me that was gross, and I was like, literally, what is gross about it? And I had a little toothbrush in the shower that was like a suction cupped on to the back of the wall, and it made my life really easy, and it also decluttered my sink a little bit because then my toothpaste and my toothbrush were like in the shower.
Yeah, and you just keep them up high. If somebody's using your shower or whatever, you don't want them to have to interact with that. You want to keep it out of their way, and also it's a little bit gross to think about that. So you just put it up high. What's gross was brushing my teeth in the airport bathroom leaving Hawaii. Our flight got delayed, so I ate some Burger King, which, by the way, shout out to any airport that still has old school fast food restaurants. Like, everything has been elevated to the point of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need celebrity chef. Oh my Christ.
Yep.
All the it's just like I love the Maui airport for obvious reasons. It's the Maui airport. What's not to love?
It's kind of outside, right?
It's kind of open airy. Yeah, it's not outside, but there are parts where if it's raining, the rain can come in. But everything that is necessary is obviously protected. But some birds can get in there and stuff.
Yes.
But they have an old school Burger King, and our flight was delayed. So I said, well, what a shame, Genevieve. I guess I got to go get a Whopper, which I never really have, and it was so good. But afterwards, I'm like, well, now I need to brush my teeth. And so I took my toothbrush because I have all my bags there anyway. So I take my toothbrush and I go into the restroom. But unfortunately, it's kind of rainy and the air is a little bit heavy. And you go into this restroom where men are going number 2, and it doesn't smell incredibly good in there. And I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm like, I don't like this feeling. Like I needed to brush my teeth, but I did not like the feeling of brushing my teeth in that odorific atmosphere.
Yeah, you really do sort of want in public, like a powder room situation, or like a non-toilety.
Yeah.
Or like a place where, the toilet stalls are separate from the sink area. Mm-hmm. It does also always feel a little, one, people are animals, let's be honest. The number of times I've been in like a public, especially like an airport bathroom, and I go to wash my hands and there's just someone's old toothpaste glob in the base.
By the way, I'm very responsible. I would never do that.
I'm sure you are. I know you are, because the way that it would haunt you to think about your leftover toothpaste in a sink somewhere, you would never sleep again.
Hannah, that is the perfect, you don't even know this, but that is the perfect transition into our voicemail that we're going to play for you today. So can I do that right now?
Yes.
This is from your friend, Carolyn, our friend, longtime listener, but she's an IRL friend of yours from a long way back, if I understand it correctly. I've had the opportunity to meet her once. I know she's in a band, which I don't think she mentioned specifically in this, but it is related. You'll understand why she's in the situation that she's in. Her band was visiting a radio station, and I'll let her tell the rest of the story, but it is exactly what you were just talking about, that feeling of leaving a mess behind. Carolyn, take it away.
Hi, Andrew and Hannah. I had a cleaning adventure happen to me this past weekend, and it made me think of a possible show segment or show idea that you could do, which is messes left behind, or alternatively, the cleaning you can't stop thinking about. So this past weekend, me and my friends, we were recording in a radio station, and we were in the room. We had to close the door, but we brought our dogs. And so the dogs were running around the station while we were recording for an hour or so. And when we're done, we come out and they say, oh, Susie, a little Chihuahua mix. Oh, she had an accident. And Susie had left some very wet little poopies all over the place. There were probably 8 little spots where she had left her little turds that were more liquid than solid. And unfortunately, we were in a kind of a rush to get out of there because we had to be somewhere else. And at the same time, the station only had a jug of water, dish soap, Dawn dish soap, and paper towels to clean up this mess.
The thing that haunts me most about that, by the way, is jug of water.
Yeah, why was
no
there not
running water? We can't go into are there restrooms? I'm getting the impression that this is sort of like maybe an after hours thing, where maybe it's a late night radio show or a pre-recorded radio show, and most of the folks aren't there. But the jug of water, that sounds like camping to me.
Yeah, this is questionable. I do feel though that Dawn dish soap is not the worst thing you could have had, because Dawn can take care of some really serious messes.
And I did text Carolyn to ask, what is the flooring like? And she says it's like that industrial carpet. You know what I mean? You can sort of picture that in a workplace.
Well,
so, okay.
and, you know, it's a radio station where they do nighttime stuff. There's probably a non-zero number of, like, vomit stains, maybe, you know?
I'll bet you that carpet has seen some shit.
Yes,
I think
maybe
both
some
literally
other wet
and
shits. Yeah,
literally and figuratively.
Very
and so, in a hurry, I sort of, you know, did a first round cleaning up the worst of the poo, made a little pile of that. That was so nasty.
Oh my God.
And then I went through and like dabbled dish soap on each little spot, and then poured some water on it and like scrubbed it around so that it would be like frothy. And then I went to a third round of like mopping that up, and then I did a fourth round of like rinsing and mopping up the stuff as best as I could. But I kind of just did a slapdash job with the materials available to me, and I felt really bad because I had to go, and like I was like trying to pack up my stuff and rush out of there and sign these forms. And so I did as good of a job as I feel like I could have done, but since we've left, you know, that was on Saturday, today's Wednesday, I just keep thinking about the fact that the smell is still there. It might have gotten stained. I just feel like it's really gross and I feel bad. And I also feel like in an ideal cleaning scenario, I would have done something totally different and or just had more time to think about like my way of approaching this mess. So anyways, that made me think about you all, and the mess is left behind. Anyways, thanks so much. Bye.
The mess is left behind. The messes that you can't stop thinking about. By the way, sounds like Carolyn did way more than what a lot of other people would do. I was
going to say, this is making multiple passes, really trying to scrub it in with, I don't know what. What were we scrubbing with? Paper towel, I guess.
Yeah, she did say paper towels, I think. She said paper towels,
rough.
Jug of water, and
making a little pile. Like, this is, you know, and it's hard, too, because, so I know that.
Why are we making a pile, though? Are there no garbage cans either?
Well,
because you don't want to, you can't throw it away in there.
You can't throw it with you.
You have to take it out of the building.
So,
okay, yeah.
And so we talked last time that one of the things I always have in my bag is dog poop bags, plastic dog poop collection bags, because they work.
I'm so glad
really,
you said bags.
Yes. Just dog turds, just kicking around.
One thing I always have in my purse.
You never know when you're going to need a poop.
Yes.
I mean, there was one time where a Cybertruck drove by me, and I did have a bag of pet waste in my hand that I was looking for a garbage can for, and there was a split second where I thought about just like whipping it at it. So sometimes you do need a turd on hand, because sometimes only a turd can meet a turd, right?
Right.
But the great thing about having dog turd bags around is that you can take messes out of places where you don't want them, right? I have used them to pick up street litter. I have used them to pick up like a mess just on the floor inside somewhere where I was like, oh, I'm taking this outside, whatever it is, right? If someone tracks in a dog shit on their shoe and they clean it up with paper towel or whatever, and then you're like, well, I don't want to just leave these in the office garbage can or whatever, you can bag it up in a dog bag and take it out. Like, it's just a very good way to remove yucky, stinky things from a situation. So, one, this is a good use for those possibly. If you have the paper towels, you want to take them out of the situation. But I also think that, yes, Carolyn, it sounds like you did as much as you could. I also know, like, if the question is why was your dog in a radio station at all, Carolyn is a, like, often traveling musician. I know that she's out of the house a lot. I met one of her dogs at a show at one point. I went to go see her band play in Portland, and I met her other dog, who I believe is named Dracula, who was a delight. But, like, these are dogs that just, like, kick it. They, you know, it's a thing. It happens. They go in. Yeah. And also, I've been places where people's children have turded on floors. So, you know, things occur.
Yeah.
So
I've
I
been
don't want to hear
places
any
where
of
bassists have turded on floors.
I was gonna say. Also,
wait,
again,
what does Carolyn play? By the way, she's not the bassist, is she?
No, she's the vocalist and
Whew,
plays keys. I want to say she
all
plays
right.
keys and vocals.
Good.
And
I didn't want her to
instruments.
think that was a direct attack on her. I just picked something randomly. I apologize because we did have to record our last show. Like, we recorded it earlier than usual because of my travel plan. So you and I have not talked in a long time. Was it on this show with you, or was I having another conversation recently where we were reminiscing about the scene in the TV show Succession where cousin Greg that was on the show.
Yes,
okay, he was using his dog, clean unused dog turd bags to take leftovers home, and it was disgusting people. And he's like, well, it's nobody. They haven't touched poop, which intellectually is right, but emotionally, I agree with everybody who was put off by that. So I thought we talked about that on the show. Sorry for the repetition, but that is true. Like me having a dog in my life now means I will have that on me a lot more. Like right now, my coat pocket now also has a little thing of dog treats that'll probably go with me everywhere I go. And I really want to be that kind of person who, whenever possible, I'm bringing Lucy with me places and stuff. And so I will both have these kinds of experiences of having to clean up after her, but also I maybe be more prepared for other non-dog related messes because of that.
It really is true. Yeah. Like that's the thing is I am prepared for so many messes because of the things I bring around for having a dog. I have a little bag that I carry like with me a lot of times when we go places, and it has hand sanitizer, it has bug spray, it has sunscreen. Like it's just become my like diaper bag basically. And it has dog bags. It also has dog wipes. I don't use disposable wipes for almost anything. However, there are times with a dog where it is either you use a disposable wipe or you use your little Marley's unpaper towel and then burn it in a fire. Like there are just some times where you need something you can throw out.
I don't even want to ask this, but you're not talking about paws here? Are you talking about like, if she gets something on her fur after going to the bathroom?
I mean, yes, that. Also, so one, paws, if they get sap in their paws, like tree pitch, just the stickiness of it. And listener Paige at one point called in with the best solution to get tree sap off of kids, but it also works on dogs, which is hand sanitizer. The alcohol in hand sanitizer does break down sap. You will be shocked how often your Pacific Northwest dog has sticky, sappy paws. It just happens. But also, I mean, dogs, they're messy out of all ends. Like sometimes your dog throws up a little bit. Sometimes they have a bad turd and their fur gets in it. Sometimes they roll around in a dead thing like that. You never know.
Well, I mean, my dog would never do that.
No, I'm sure she's gonna be a perfect angel baby who would absolutely never see a rat carcass and go roll into it. Dogs love to do that. And so
you know what? The nice thing about Lucy is she hovers about 2 inches above the ground everywhere she goes.
I love that you have a hover dog. Very modern.
You didn't want the hover model?
I was cheap and I got the on the ground model.
Right,
I got the literal floor model. But yeah, so like a little package of wipies I have a lot of the times. And they have wipes that are like for dogs specifically. They're like enzyme wipes that can really be helpful. But yeah, I feel like I have like a mobile cleaning kit everywhere I go when I bring her with, because that's just like part of it. I haven't ever considered putting a little spray bottle of like Nature's Miracle or Bubba's Rowdy stuff. But like maybe the next time after I use up a travel sized hair spray type of deal in a little spray bottle, maybe I'll make up one of those and bring that with me just to avoid.
It's kind of a good idea. Yeah, exactly. Carolyn situation. You would have a little
it's
thing.
It's not a terrible idea. Although also like in a touring musician situation, you might just want to have a little bottle of Full X on the go with you anyway. But not to tell anybody how to live their lives, but if I were like, we had our listener call in who was talking about being on the road in a van with kids, and I feel like having a little bottle of cleaning solution was part of that kit, like part of the go kit. And so I feel like if I were traveling or taking a road trip of any sort, some kind of an all-purpose cleaner spray might not be a bad idea.
And also, and this is not for everybody probably, but I would even just say maybe just like a little cyanide pill that you keep in a fake tooth, just in case you're like, this mess is unsolvable.
I'll never recover from this. Yeah.
There's only one way out.
Just a pen.
Yeah, that's right. Anything that is in James Bond's toolkit.
Yep.
Is that who would have a cyanide pill? Yeah, James Bond-esque character, I think. I'm running out of gas here, but that's good because we're near the end of the show, and I have something that I wanted to talk to you about today, but we had so much other stuff to cover, but we'll talk about it on the next show, which is a cleaning hack that when you and I first started the show, I think we were a little bit more like into hacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we were looking for like, like the way to like kind of get gum out of things or whatever. And there was a hack that we talked about that was clever. And I think we even tried it out, but then I never thought about it again. And now I've reintroduced it to my life, and I'm obsessed.
Okay.
I'm going around the house with this cleaning thing and thinking, could I put it in there? Could I put it in there? Would it work on this? Would it work on this? And I'm going to tell you about that on the next show. I'm being very withholding right now. I hope that's okay.
This is some real front-loading, though.
Yeah. Are you worried about me living up to the expectations that I'm setting? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit, but also,
Yeah,
but
fair.
it's smart. Give the listeners a reason to come back. Maybe
Exactly.
the next episode won't be as much about turds. I can't promise that to you.
Let's hope. Ugh. Just thinking about what we're going to brainstorm about for the show title today is already upsetting me. We got to avoid turds.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off air. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you all, including you, Hannah, for putting up with me today. I know that I'm especially motor-mouthed and a little bit hazy today, but I really do appreciate it, and I'm just really excited about this phase of our life and our family together. So, all right, everybody, let us know what you're cleaning in the shower, and don't hold back. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
You've been listening to the Spotless Podcast. If you have a question for Hannah and Andrew or some cleaning advice, call the Spotline at 508-HOW-WASH. That's 508-469-9274. You can also email them at spotlesspod@gmail.com. We'll be back soon, but until then, always remember, life is messy, but it doesn't have to be.